love from you, baby. Oh, been so long. Why you keeping me waiting? Why you keeping me waiting? Why you keeping me waiting?
Welcome to Danu and Firewriter on Hi TV, your luxury channel. Today we're checking out this fabulous place where we have been here a long time ago, but we thought we should come back because we have a person who goes perfect with the ambience here. I'm happy to speak to Ty. There's a long name behind it, but Ty is what I'm going to call him.
Fair enough.
It's easier, right?
Fair enough.
So he's like our time cowboy. In Sri Lanka, we refer to cowboys like the guys who are with cows. Because I come from a place called Piliandala, means that's where I commute from.
Yeah.
We have cows just moving all over.
The only thing you're missing is cowboys.
I know. I would have liked that view more than the cows, I promise you that.
That part.
So Ty is big time. He's like Hollywood standard. He has been working with some A-class stars, teaching them how to ride a horse.
Yes.
Yeah. So tell me, how good are you in riding? That's such a bad question to ask.
You know what? It's fine. The question is fine. I think I'm a pretty decent rider.
Okay.
I've competed in pretty much every sport on horseback. So you have to be somewhat decent to stay on the horses at that.
Well, I know that you are big news, but I just wanted to know how good are you? Like, in terms of the stunts, like, can you jump from one horse to the other horse, like how we see it in Hollywood?
Yes, I can. So, I mean, I do a lot of the stunt work too myself.
Right.
So when you see a horse running in a movie,
Yeah.
and they're running full speed, and the horse falls and the rider falls off.
Right.
I've done those. And Roman riding is basically you ride standing on two horses. So I can do that too. Yeah.
Right, okay.
So I'm a pretty decent rider. Not the best in the world, but I can hold my
You're
own.
good, and I'm really proud of you. So tell me, so you went from here all the way to Hollywood. Tell me, how did this transition happen? How did this boy from Sri Lanka make it all the way there?
So I grew up in Kotahena.
My mother's hood.
Really?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure my mother and
Are
your
you
mother.
Benedictine? Are you
Yes, of course.
Oh my God, you must be my uncle's classmate. My mother might have even taught you. No,
Might be. Actually, I went to
she's a bit too young to teach you, but anyway.
I went to St. Lucia's and then to Benedict.
Right.
And St. Lucia's Church and everything.
Yes.
So I mean,
down Mayfield Road you live?
no, actually St. Benedict's Road.
Mayfield Road, my God, what a small continue.
Very small world.
Yes.
You could be transatlantic, but doesn't
I
matter.
know.
The world is pretty small. So I left Sri Lanka 40 years ago.
Right, that's...
And I was very influenced by the Western culture, watching Western movies. Clint Eastwood and John Wayne, and that's all I ever wanted to be. I always wanted to be a cowboy. I was a world away, but
From reality.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I don't think Kotahena had...
No. Had no horses.
You had
there.
people who behaved as
Like
cows.
horses.
Or like
Yeah.
horses, but but
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, upon arriving in America, it was like a dream come true. And I was a kid in a candy store.
that's true.
So I was like, wow, cowboys everywhere, horses everywhere. And I was just, it was like, there's no words that can ever explain my joy and my happiness. And I just jumped into it like a fish to water.
That's amazing.
And there started my journey.
So not every boy in Kotahena wakes up and says, Mom, I want to be a cowboy from today. That's not going to go down, especially you come from a Tamilish, Singlish
Yeah.
household, and that's not going to go down really well. How did it go down? Sometimes waking up and saying I want to be a teacher itself could go down bad.
Correct.
Doctor,
Lawyer, engineer.
those are the key things here. How did your parents take it?
You know what? I think my biggest influence was my father. And he used to always tell me, no matter what you want to do in your life, but do something that you love. And I was very inspired by my father because he was, when I was a young age, he was in import and export, so he was all over the world.
Right.
But he was a huge Western fan, always listening to Western music, like Willie Nelson, Patsy Cline,
Right.
and so on and so forth. So we grew up with that, you know. So I think that stuck with me into my adulthood, and it was like that perfect. There's an old saying where the stars align,
Yeah.
and that's what happened to me. You know, I have my father on one side that said, "Hey," because of course every parent wants their child to be a doctor, or engineer,
Yeah.
or lawyer, and my dad said, "You know what? You want to be a cowboy?
Go for it.
Reach for the stars." And that's what I
Amazing.
did.
And you didn't only become a cowboy, you sort of made it so much more cooler. We're going to be talking about the artistic side to all of this because there's so much what we see on a film screen or what we will see in a movie is it's just the little tip of the iceberg. There's a lot of work that goes into it, and I'm so happy there's somebody who has been behind all those amazing stunts, those brilliant choreographed moves that we see. So I really want to speak more about it, but right now we need to get into a break. When we do come back on the other side, we have so much to speak about, and also, but for now, I'm just going to dig into this. I'll see you right after. Welcome back to the show. We are checking out the joint. We have made such huge changes in where we are seated. We literally flipped to the other side. But I'm speaking to Ty. He has a full name, but I'm not going to break it down. Ty sounds very, very East Asian.
Conversational. Very conversational.
Yeah. How are you, a Thai? Yeah, that's how it all starts.
There you go, yeah.
That's your hook.
Yeah. Hook, line, and sinker,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Now that we spoke about the Kotena boy part, he comes from a very artistic family. So your mom was an actress,
She was, yeah.
and your dad was into film.
He was, yes.
You have had all the greatest stars walk into your house when you were a little boy. You never wanted to do one of those singular films where you run behind a tree,
You know, when I was little, there's somewhere in the archives of Sri Lanka, there's some film
But
of...
remember, 83, we lost a lot of films.
Yes. But we're talking in the late 70s. There was some archives of me and my brother, and we were in this great campaign in Sri Lanka for kids.
Right.
So we've always been very culturally very inclined to the cinema, to the
Yeah.
industry. And just like we spoke earlier, and a lot of the younger generation don't know this, but these are the forebearers of modern cinema in Sri Lanka today. You know, names like Rukmini Devi
Of
and
course.
Gamini Fonseca, Joe Vikrama. And I was a kid in Kotahena, and to watch this great, I used to call them uncle and aunties. They used to come to our house, and we used to, they used to play with us and stuff. Never did I realize how
Big they were.
iconic
Of course.
and legendary these people were. And as I got older, I realized, this is amazing. I've been a part of history in Sri Lanka.
And also the fact that, we have somehow, you guys have been in a household that has been the ideal family situation where it has been mixed culture, there has been no language barrier, which is amazing. I think that's how we should always promote Sri Lanka.
I agree 100%.
Yeah. So now that you're in this cool place called Hollywood, I have a lot of friends there.
We might know a few.
Yeah. Means I know them all, but they don't.
That part.
Yeah, they don't know me. I was overseas last week and I went to Drake's house.
Really?
He didn't let me in. Nothing.
That's funny because I've been to Drake's place. So.
Oh, really?
In Canada, yeah.
Yeah, I was there.
Were you? Oh my
Means
gosh.
I was outside. And this one guy he knew, oh, this is unreal. Just jumped out of the boat on Drake's house, trying to even take a picture of the flowers outside, just to say like
he has a beautiful club in Toronto.
Inside?
Toronto.
I have
Toronto,
not
yeah.
been there. We
Yeah.
have not become friends still.
Well, I'll fix that.
Oh my god!
I'll take care of that for you.
I might ride that horse. Sorry. All right. So
No pun intended. You gotta say no pun intended.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
All right. So I wanted to speak to you about some of the projects that you're working on currently, and you have worked with some big names, and he can't mention the names because they sign those documents that they actually stand by, not like here. So you can't actually say the names. So tell me some names that you can mention.
So, we worked with a lot of great talent, iconic talent in the industry, and new up and coming. Now, just like you mentioned, there's unfortunately right now as we speak in America, there's a strike going on to our brothers and sisters in the industry and in the Actors Guild. So we support them. But I'll tell you what, there's some really new.
So clearly you didn't watch Barbie.
Listen, Margot Robbie is one heck of an actress. Ryan Gosling, amazing actor. Anyway, back to what I was saying. I can't get off track here, but I'll tell you this.
But you didn't watch Barbie.
I did not. I'm going to get crucified for this when I get back stateside. But I'll tell you this. I'll tell you some new up and coming talent that I think that everybody in the industry need to watch for. There are a actress. Her name is Margot Graff. Pay attention to her. She's going to be somebody who's going to take the industry by surprise because we worked with this actress. She's amazing. Then there is a couple of actors like Mustafa Elmo. He's
Right.
Egyptian, but I think he's going to be somebody which is going to be very special for Hollywood. And again, he's outside the box people coming in, and they're going to offer something great to Hollywood.
And anyway, Hollywood is now embracing minority, diversity. They're looking into brown, they're looking into black. They're trying to broaden everything. Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's why it gives more credibility to a guy like me, which is I'm Sri Lankan. And most people in America don't know where Sri Lanka is, so we had to explain it to them.
Yeah.
But
that's not our country's problem, it's their problem. I promise you that. I watched a show where Ellen asked, where's Sri Lanka? And I was like, oh my God, I lost all respect for you.
that part. So, but right now, I think we're in a very pivotal moment in history in Hollywood where you're right, they're catering to the minorities and more talent. If you see, like in the Oscars, you have Asian communities now actually winning Oscars, which is amazing.
Correct.
That's what we need.
Yeah. Like Bridgerton is just, God,
Of course.
Bridgerton. They are like everywhere. That's amazing. Next time we might have a Kamala there.
Oh, well.
Not that Kamala.
No, not that Kamala. Okay,
I'm talking about Kamala from Sri Lanka. Kamala.
Yeah.
I'm on
Kamala,
Bridgerton
Kamala,
now.
Kamala,
Yeah, that is
yeah,
true.
yeah.
Just wanted to also tell you, now he's trying to do something great for Sri Lanka. As you know, we had such an amazing time with Sinhala cinema or cinema in Sri Lanka. It could be Sinhala, Tamil movies. We produced some of the best. And at that time, our technology, the artistry in our country was really good. And then unfortunately, we had some bumpy moments in our lives. But right now, we're trying to bring that back to life. A lot of foreign films were shot here. We have so many beautiful places in one tiny island, which allows movies to spend less and get more locations sorted. So he's going to work in bringing some of these movies here. We're going to speak about that when we do come back. And also the amount of horses that he actually feeds. Means they are his horses. That's the whole point. So we'll come back with more. Do stick around. This is Danu. We're checking out the joint right here on Danu on Fire. Welcome back. It's our final segment. I have Ty with me all the way from Hollywood. He's no easy boy here. And this cowboy is going back soon, but we wanted to speak about what sort of brought him back home. I know you have a lot of love towards our country. Tell me, what sort of brought you back here?
I think it's a genuine love for the country. And listen, people say, well, you're the first Sri Lankan cowboy, but it's Sri Lanka that made this cowboy.
That's true.
And I think it's the as kids growing up, we were taught perseverance, respect, love, and never forget where you came from. And never forgotten where I come from. I'm grateful for America for everything she's given me, the vicissitudes, the skill sets. But I want to give that back to my motherland, and that's why I'm here. And my entire thing is about trying to build infrastructure here to get more horses into Sri Lanka, and and truly develop a very rich horse society. That is my long-term goal right now.
We're talking about real horses.
Yes.
Yes.
Real horses, not ponies.
Yeah,
real
yeah.
horses, yeah.
But by the way, this is like a real one. I changed my hat if you didn't notice. I've robbed
My son, yeah.
your sons. Poor soul. Anyway, just wanted to speak a little bit about bringing the film industry here, that is all the way from New York or the US. It's important because, number one, they have done some brilliant films, and this is going to be great money for our country, and we have stunning locations, and the fact that we can go from down south, from the beaches to the mountains to everything in such a short timeline gives them such an access. So how has that work been? You have taken it off the ground?
I will start with this, and I'll tell you, Marco Polo once said that Sri Lanka is the Garden of Eden. And it truly is. It's actually in historical texts. And the rich flora and the fauna of this country is nothing shy of amazing.
That is true.
And just like you said, from the south to the north, east, and the west, there's so much beauty from the Pidrutalagala to the coastal areas, to Jaffna, to Batiklo, to Mena, to Trinco. Just so much variety here. And I think this is something that America can truly embrace. Because right now, production really doesn't leave stateside. And if they do, it's into the surrounding countries.
Yeah.
But I want to show them, hey, listen, you can spend a couple of more dollars and get something actual fantastic to put on print.
And also it's affordable for them to come here.
I think it's 100% affordable.
And it's going to create job opportunities and so much more.
Correct.
And that's the important thing. And we have so much of talent in this country, and everyone deserves to shine. And it's very, very important we somehow bring it forward. Now, this cowboy has not one, not two, 3 ranches, correct?
Correct.
And that's a lot. How many horses in total do you have?
So collectively right now, we have about 100 horses.
Do you know all their names?
You know what? Kind
have
of,
your
sort of,
favorites.
yes. I do have my favorites.
And who is your number one favorite?
My number one right now has to be, actually, it was Trickster, but now it's Onyx.
What happened to Trickster?
Rest in soul. He passed on.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's I've had him for 24 years. He was 28 years old when he passed. So Onyx is my shining star.
Right.
And actually, I gifted this horse to my son, and she's probably been in about 19 movies already.
Oh, that's amazing.
So she's
a star.
She's 100% a star. My gosh.
That's
And
amazing.
on point, on cue, on mark. She
That's
knows
amazing.
everything she's got to do, and she does it. So, one of my favorites.
That's amazing. In Sri Lanka, we are really speaking about animal cruelty. And one of the reasons why I'm bringing this up is, there's always a debate that's happening in Sri Lanka, especially in terms of, it could be a religious platform, it could be an entertainment platform, it could just be for showmanship sometimes, the whole seasons of cricket and all sorts of big matches, and you see these animals brought out, and there's always a sector of people fighting for their rights. But yet you can still use these animals for movies and all with so much of love and giving them the guidance that they need and all of that. How would you balance that very sensitive line?
I think the biggest thing has to be education. You have to educate the public. Because we have a certain American standard when we work in the movie industry in Hollywood. Anytime we use animals, there has to be an animal rights activist there. It has to be a veterinarian on site at any given time. So every standard is measured and gauged and founded when we do that. And I think the problem that we have with our motherland is that there's a lack of education. And instead of chastising them. I want to say, you know what? Let's fix it. Let's create a forum. Let's create a platform that we can bring any animal, lovers or entertainers in that field, whether it be horses, dogs, and cats. That let's talk about it. Let's create a standard, and this is how you're to treat that animal. And a lot of the things is not because I honestly don't believe that Sri Lankans have this vestitude to hurt animals.
No.
Nothing of the sort. I think it's the lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
So
and it doesn't come from 90% of the time, it doesn't come from a thoughtless, wicked place.
Correct.
It's just been around for so long and it just seems right. But we tend to forget from the other side, like how does the animal feel? And one of the reasons I wanted to bring this up is like using animals in films. It's been around for so long, and how do we sort of not overwork them and still treat them as living beings? And that's the most important thing.
I always tell this, we manage 100 horses. And if I can ever say, there's a whole depth of things I can tell you, but I'll tell you this, that my horses eat before I do. Whether it be their breakfast or their dinner, they eat before I do. I want to make sure they are taken care of first before I take care of myself. That is the kind of love and passion you have to have. And I never look at a horse as a dollar sign or a rupee sign. I look at them as a living creature gifted by God to us. And because, not to get too in depth, but I'll tell you this, without horse, there's no humanity. The entire revolution of humanity is all because of the horse. If nobody ever rode a horse, there'll be no humanity. We'll be back in the Stone Ages, and we wouldn't be sitting here, indulging in this beautiful dessert and having this beautiful show with you, if there was no horse. So there's a certain reverence that I have to horses, which I want to teach the next generation.
So I agree with you. We are the Garden of Eden. Mm-hmm. The saddest part is Adam and Eve left. The apple tree also left, but the snake remained.
It's somewhere. I saw it in my golf face. It's still right there.
That's what happened, and we're still like, where are we now?
Trying not to get bit.
I know, that's the problem. Well, anyway, thank you so very much for being here. The first and only Sri Lankan cowboy so far. I think you can follow your dream. You can make whatever you want to make in your life. It's the destiny that you want to create. You can dream for strange things and make it big. And absolutely a pleasure. I'm so happy I was able to do this before you flew off, and I'm so happy that you came on the show. I really hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you for having me on board, and it was an amazing pleasure to be here with you, Danu, to do this show. And I said one of my favorites in the world. But if you don't mind.
Am I better than the horses?
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Thank you.
If I can leave you with this sentiment, I would love to tell the people of Sri Lanka this. Never give up on your dreams. Follow your heart, you'll never go wrong.
Amazing. All right. On that note, we need to wrap things up. How do y'all say?
Y'all come on back now, you hear?
You heard that. We'll see you soon.